Making your first $10,000 as a music producer is undoubtedly one of the hardest goals to hit. Once you achieve this, you know you're well on your way of going full-time, doing what you love most. But there's so many factors at play, and everyone online is telling you a different method to make money, and maybe you don't know where to start. I'm gonna break everything down for you, and my hope is that you'll leave this video with an actual plan that'll help you get to $10,000 and above. I'm gonna be covering 3 unique strategies that any producer at any skill level can actually do. I used the last technique to generate over $10,096 in just 2 months, so be sure to stick around until the end for the most effective strategy. Now, just to clarify, this video isn't how to make your first $1,000 as a producer, and it definitely isn't how to make your first $100,000 as a producer either. I'll let you guys know that strategy if I ever get to that point, but the truth is you need a different strategy and a different approach for every step up in income. Now, you might think it'd be a good idea to start with the $100,000 strategy right away, but the truth is you need to develop so many skill sets along the way, even get a chance to get to that point. So working up the ladder, planning to get your first 1,000, then 10,000 and above is absolutely the most reliable way to make a steady income, because you not only have to know how to get there, but you have to know how to do it again for the years to come. So without further ado, let's dive into these strategies. Now, I'm not going to waste your time telling you to go make a custom website, to post content daily, or to start email marketing. If you're just starting out, then the most important skill you can master is focus. Layering all these complex responsibilities on top of making good music makes it extremely hard to make money, because you have to learn a million new things. So my suggestion would be to stick to one of these strategies for a very long period of time before you add more revenue making opportunities for yourself. With that being said, the first strategy I want to bring up is reaching out to people. Now, I know DMing rappers every single day sounds boring, but it's also incredibly effective, because if you think about it, you don't have to invest any of your own money to get customers like you would with running ads. It only requires your time. If you get really good at reach outs, you can make 2 to 3 sales a day or more. My first year in music production, I actually made $11,000 solely off of reach outs. I was only 15 years old at the time, hustling in school, DMing 100 rappers a day, and honestly, I didn't know anything about marketing, and my music wasn't even that good. I think that alone says a lot about how reliable this strategy can be, and if you're not a big risk taker, then this strategy could be perfect for you. You don't need to rely on algorithms or making complex marketing frameworks. You can just follow a simple system and make consistent sales. Now, what is the best way to make reach outs work? So first, we need to find our target audience, so who's gonna buy our beats. Luckily, a lot of artists rely heavily on Instagram to promote their music, so I'd suggest starting there. One thing I'll say about Instagram is there is a cap of how many messages you can send per day. For most accounts, it's around 100 a day. But there are certainly other options out there like Discord, X, Facebook, so you can scale this to more than 100 messages a day across different platforms. The next best step would be to find group chats where these people always congregate. Being able to find these giant groups ensures that you never run out of people to contact, and you'll be able to see which rappers actively use the platform and which don't. The most qualified buyer to hit up is someone you know is going to respond to you because they actively use the platform. If you're using Instagram, then another great way to find your audience is just looking through who someone follows or the followers someone has. Just keep it simple and don't overthink it. Now that you have your audience, you need to know exactly what to say so you can close more sales. And even more important, actually build a relationship with these people so they'll come back and buy more from you in the future. My most efficient strategy would be to go to an artist profile, follow them, like their most recent post, and comment. The whole point of this is to stand out from the crowd, because everyone else only messages once. In your first message, you keep it simple. You can say that you checked out their most recent track and say something you like about it. Try to be as detailed as you can, include their name, the name of the song, and so forth. This lets the person know you actually took the time. Hopefully at this point they respond. If they don't, you can send another message, but don't spam them. You can easily just find another rapper to hit up if it doesn't work out. More than likely they're gonna accept your compliment, and in my opinion, the next best thing you can say is, "Let's work," or "What projects are you working on?" This quickly shifts the conversation into your advantage, because no matter what they say next, it's going to be about music. From here, you ask if they need beats for their next project, and a majority of the time they'll say yes, and this is what we want. They're going to give you their email, and make sure you save this in your notes or in a spreadsheet. We're going to be using this later. Send them a pack of free for non-profit beats that they need to buy in order to use commercially. Usually this version includes your tag all the way through the beat. Send out a pack tailored to them, and make sure you ask what they think afterwards. From here, here, this is where things can definitely get tricky. They could say they enjoyed the pack, maybe they ask you to send another pack. There's definitely a lot of things that could happen, but our ultimate goal is to drive a conversation towards convincing them to use one of our beats in their next song or project. Once we get to this point, we can transition to closing the sale. One of my favorite frameworks I use for this is called the discount framework. When they ask for your price, you give them your price, but you mark it up by $10 more than usual. You then say, because it's our first time working together, I'm gonna give you $10 off. Make sure you say that this is for today only. They should think that they're getting a good deal, and this also drives scarcity to the sale to get them to act right away. Keep in mind that you're in control of how much you charge. You can use this strategy any way that you want. Some other methods could be buy two, get one free, or you can mention that no other rapper has bought that beat yet. All this might seem like a lot, but I can promise after 1 week of sending 100 DMs a day, you'll get your system down and it'll feel like second nature. You'll hear the most popular objections and you'll learn to maneuver around them. One gem that I love about this strategy is the ability to retarget buyers. Because you've already done the hard work to build the relationships, it's so much easier to get multiple sales after the first one. When you compare this to something like ads, you just don't have the same ability because you're not personally reaching out. It's been 3 years since I've done this strategy and I still get those same artists hitting me up every single month to ask for beats because I built up a relationship with them over time. Now, remember I said to save their emails for later because we're gonna need them. Now's the time to use it. If you save all the emails, you can make a system where you constantly message people every 2 to 4 weeks to send them another beat pack or they could potentially buy from you. With all this together, it won't take you long at all to get your first $10,000 as a producer. You can work your way up to 2 to 3 sales a day, which will be around $100 a day if you're selling your licenses for around $30 to $35. At that point, it would take a little over 3 months to reach that goal. The next strategy is like doing reach outs but on steroids, and I really haven't seen anyone make any videos on this. Shout out to Gabe from Legion Beats for this framework. Just like reaching out to artists through DMs, doing it through email can be incredibly effective. But instead of only being able to do 100 DMs a day, you can do up to 500 email sendouts a day. If you have multiple Gmail accounts, you can go to 1,000 and above. The one thing I love about this strategy is it actually takes less time to reach out to these 500, 1,000 plus artists as it does to reach out to 100 artists individually through DMs. The only downside is people expect spam emails and there's no way for them to verify who you are because they can't just go to your profile like they can on Instagram. But I'm gonna show you some ways that we can work around this that make this strategy incredibly effective. I want you to think of emails exactly like DMs. We're still gonna be sending out free for nonprofit beats and we're just gonna be trying to close them through email instead of through DM. I'm going to be showing you how you can do this at scale and the exact process to use. Real quick, I just wanted to let you know about a brand new free pack that we launched on producerpriority.com. The pack is called Fate and it features 100 non-recycled sounds, live instrument phrases, and even vocals. Having these insane resources can really help your beats stand out from the crowd, which will ultimately make you more beat sales in the future. Plus, it's free, so feel free to check it out. The download link is going to be in the description below. Quick disclaimer before we get into this, I would definitely recommend making a new email or using an old email that you haven't used in a while. Definitely not your main one. Even though we're doing this the legit way, some people are still gonna report you as spam or you might end up in the promotions tab. So to avoid this, it's super easy to make an email that you don't care about. The first step in the process is finding the emails, and you can do this in multiple ways. A lot of artists put their emails in the bio. You can buy a list of independent artists. You could search up key terms on social media platforms, terms like send beats, drop email for free beats, or I need beats. All of these can be incredibly effective. Just like DMs, you can find and join major groups, and then you have a bunch of profiles that you can look through and hopefully find emails that way. Or you could even just simply ask for it. You can make a post in the group letting everyone know you're gonna send out free beats in exchange for an email. No matter what way you get your emails, there's a tool that you can use to speed up this process significantly. It's a Google Chrome extension called Email Extractor. It automatically copies every single email on any page and it stores it for you. When you found your 500 emails, you can just simply copy them and we can move on to sending out the actual emails to these people. Now, we're not going to use BCC and we're definitely not going to send out 500 individual emails to people. That would take way too long. We're going to use another app called Gmass. And for all transparency, this is a paid software, but in my opinion, it's 100% worth it. All the software does is it sends out individual emails to the addresses you provide. This isn't putting emails into autoresponders like MailChimp or Klaviyo. This is much different, and I want to emphasize that you can't do that. You can't just rip emails off of the internet and put them into your auto provider. They have to give you consent to opt in for email marketing. But there's no law against sending emails normally, and all this process does is it automates that. One of the really cool things is because it sends out separate emails, it won't be BCC, so the artist will think we're just hitting them up normally. Here's the exact script that I'd use to hit up these artists. Yo man, I came across your beat email online and I hope you don't mind me hitting you up. My name's Cam J, I'm a music producer from the US and I've worked with blank. I saw that you're an artist and I really enjoyed listening to your last project. If you don't mind, I'd be really interested in working with you, and I'd even be willing to give you a free pack of beats to start out. At the bottom of the email, you put the link that sends them to a Google Drive or Dropbox link. You're gonna add all of your free for nonprofit beats into one Google Drive or Dropbox folder, and make sure you separate them by genre or mood so that's very easy for the artist to find the beats that suit them. Now the craziest sauce about this method is there's an option to enable auto reply. So if that artist doesn't open that email or respond to that email within a day, GMass is gonna automatically reply to that email with the prompt you give it. A day later you can say, yo man, I understand if you don't want to work, but the free beats are still on the table if you're down. This is gonna reply to the email, it's gonna push it back to the top of the inbox. You could even send another email for good measure a day after that if you wanted to. This is a feature that's not available on any other software, and it's completely automated. This is gonna help solve the problem of artists thinking that you're just sending a spam message, and it's going to increase your open rates significantly. From there, you'd use the exact closing framework that we used in the cold DM strategy. Now, like I mentioned in the intro, this last strategy has made me over $10,000 in just 2 months, so it can be extremely fast and efficient if you use it correctly. The strategy revolves around bundling your best work into one giant package at a significant discount. The reason I think this strategy is so good is because the product provides so much value that it's incredibly hard for the artist to say no. If you think about it, 99% of rappers have to license a beat for $30 to $150 on average, and that's for one beat. When you transition to offering 30 to 100 beat packages for around the same price, a lot of artists would say yes to the package instead of just the single beats for the same price. And believe me, you don't have to stop there. You can charge more for this, and you can actually upsell the wave and the track out versions of the bundle. So there's a lot more chances for expansive revenue. In my example, I launched a giant sound kit bundle called Beatmaker Shortcuts that includes 2,700 of my best sounds and a bunch of free trainings and resources included as well. I put all this together for only $57. This translated to a 5% conversion rate on this product, which means 5% of every producer that saw this bundle went and bought it, which is extremely good. Our goal is to have the same outcome by making really good beat packs or sound kit bundles that a lot of people want to buy, and not just individual beats that every other producer puts out. To start out, I would suggest putting everything you made so far into one giant bundle, and then all you'd have to do is pay for some dope graphic design, and that's it to get started with this strategy. You definitely don't have to make a custom website for this. You could just upload it to BeatStars, or you could do custom transactions through email, DM, or text. If you're just starting out, then in my opinion, the best way to do this is to pair it with the cold DM and email framework. When you do it this way, it's so much easier for you to tell them everything that's included with the entire bundle. You can answer all their questions, you don't have to run ads, you don't have to make complex websites, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. You would also get to keep 100% of the profits you bring in. I know for me, having $11,000 in profit my first year was incredibly valuable for me. I used this to scale my business and to also invest in myself, so courses, collabs, consultations, whatever I wanted to do with that leftover profit. If these systems could help you get to that point as well, I'd be incredibly grateful. I wanted to center this video around systems that might only take you a week to a month to master, and hopefully by now you've picked one that's going to work for you. It's really important not to get ahead of yourself with all this. If you start to make money with these strategies, don't pivot and stick with it. I find a lot of people, including myself, start to see success with something, but then they learn about the new shiny object that could potentially make them more money. Things like scaling with ads, making complex websites, posting content every day. Like I said, I've fallen for all these shiny objects myself. While it is true these frameworks will absolutely make you more money, it's not instant, and every single time I've had to lose a significant amount of money before I've made anything back. The exact opposite is true for any one of these strategies in this video. You can implement them right away It doesn't cost you virtually anything, and it can be incredibly profitable for any producer who's just starting out. So make sure to take all of that into consideration when choosing the correct strategy. In this video, I covered some of the best ways you can make money online selling digital products as a producer. What I didn't cover is how to make a living off of landing placements. So if that's more of your style, then make sure to watch my last video where I break down how I've landed 31 major placements in the last 2 years and how you can as well.